Welcome back to the Fallout New Vegas Perfect playthrough, and I decided that we're going to start this off with a little bit of backtracking before heading up to Jacobstown, and then we'll probably be able to still complete all of the Jacobstown content this episode. But I think first we're going to get a couple things done that I've been meaning to get done, and then look at how good the anti-material rifle is. Those fools! I know I said this last episode. Those fools are being made of material. But yeah, just a couple things that I had been meaning to get back to, and then we will go on to Jacobstown, and we're also going to take care of Cass's quest as well in this little backtracking extravaganza. Because Cass's quest isn't too bad, and we've been periodically doing part of it. But yes, here's a little hidden location that I think most people miss to the west of the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters. And it's a place that you shouldn't miss, because it has a skill book inside. And here it is, Brewer's Beer Bootlegger. And as we can see, lots of random loot, including a star bottle cap, which just turns to a regular bottle cap for us. But seems like there's some stuff going on here, you know. Illicit stuff with the drugs and alcohol. And as we enter the cellar, we find a brewing operation here with some loot such as an explosives crate. Great for us, I guess. Oh, we don't see too many incendiary grenades. But the real noteworthy loot here is, yes, the Big Book of Science, and on top of that is a key. And that key opens this gun cabinet. So there you go. And you know, wow, 2 Gauss rifles. That actually that's pretty lucrative. So yeah, we've got a lot of loot here. And the lord of this place is the developers of New Vegas. I guess liked this beer, this strategic nuclear moose. It's like a play on words of some real life beer. I don't know. I don't know the details of that one, but it's some reference that the developers knew about, you know? Classic developer shenanigans. But yes, we gotta hit that Big Book of Science. So you should always stop by the beer bootlegger. The other thing that I wanted to catch up on is way down here, and there are enemies nearby, but I do not see them, so we'll... Oh, there, I see them. Alright, nice Cazador. We're grabbing that poison gland, and we're going to Boulder City. Because when we first entered Boulder City, we missed him because it was nighttime, and we might miss him again. But this time we'll be making the extra effort to wait till he gets there. And hopefully that disconnected kept my stream up. Didn't affect it. And maybe we have to wait in a different loading cell. But yeah, we missed out on Private Kowalski last time. Is he not here? Did he die off screen, and that's why we missed Private Kowalski? Who knows? Well, you know what? I'm gonna shoot the monument anyway. and see if he comes and finds us at some point in the future. But yes, maybe he's over here. This will just be a quick little detour. And you can see the plant that all the workers used to work at. Well, I guess Private Kowalski died in our game. That's unfortunate. But now we'll continue on with Cass's quest and head to Durable
Another
Duns.
caravan burned, except someone made camp here, and I never heard about this attack. Let's look around. Something stinks.
And yeah, first thing, very clearly a Van Graff here. And we want to keep that combat armor because it is unique. And we see the ash piles, Crimson Caravan Guard, and another Van Graff. So yeah, let's see what Cass has to say.
That does it. That's all I need to know. Crimson Caravan and the Van Graffs. They were behind burning these caravans, and they've got to answer for them. I'm gonna get some extra ammo, a few bottles of whiskey, and then show them how Cassidy's settle accounts.
And we want the good ending, so there's another way. We can get evidence. Let NCR take them down.
NCR? Are you out of your fucking mind? That'd take years. And with the war with the Legion, no way they're gonna waste time running up the Crimson Caravan or the Van Graffs.
The harm to the Van Graffs would last longer and travel back west.
Alright. If you poke around the Van Graffs and Alice, fine. But if I see either one go into their camp, I'm gonna start shooting, no matter what you find.
And I've heard enough, let's move on. And Cass will shoot.
You find any evidence?
And so we're gonna go back to send her back to the Mojave Outpost to do this part of the quest. 'Cause she cannot be trusted. And the evidence collecting is actually pretty easy. It's just very clearly in a safe. They didn't decide to dispose of the evidence or anything of that nature. They just said, you know what? We'll just lock it away. But yeah.
Hey
and
there.
Let's do a quick little sale of our loot. Blake might be like, I remember this stuff. We sent it out, but don't worry about it, Blake. And I shouldn't look for... Our caravan deck is good enough, but I do always want more cards. But yes, here's the evidence. It's just out here in the main room. And our sneak is high enough that we can just, you know, crouch by it. And we're gonna rob them while we're at it. And even though this evidence says Crimson Caravan Van Graff agreement, we need the other one. You know what? I wonder if it's a note. Oh, it is. Interesting. Alright, well, let's see what the Van Graff one says. But yeah, as you can see, this isn't taking too long, so we might be able to get up to Jacobstown.
Hey,
Though,
isn't that the King's dog?
that is the King's dog. Though, I hope the episode doesn't get too long. Then I think this is going to be the last episode for a little bit. before this guy talks to me.
Hey, you're the one who's been...
Yeah. Hey, 42 caps is 42 caps. And I think we're going to be spending a lot of time playing the Elden Ring DLC. So there'll be a brief pause between episodes. Give everyone time to catch up on the playthrough. Because I do take forever to post them on YouTube. Not take forever, I constantly post them on YouTube. The opposite of what I said. I constantly post them on YouTube. And nobody can keep up. But yeah, I'm super excited for the Elden Ring DLC. And we'll be playing that. And similar to the Crimson Caravan, we can just go in here and steal it. And I guess there's a terminal, but we're just gonna unlock the safe itself. And of course rob them, and it says Letter to Gloria. So let's read it. And there you go.
Hello.
This one implicates them against the gun runners, which will probably show up in the ending slides, hint hint, hours and hours from now. We're coming up on 40 hours and we have not gone into actual Vegas yet. I love it. This is how I like to play New Vegas. I like to wait as long as possible. Another thing I wanted to catch up was there's been a water pump mentioned.
Property of the king. You'll need to pay if you want to drink.
And here it is. And there's a king guarding it. Tapper.
The king controls the water pump. If you want water, you need to pay like everyone else.
Why charge for water?
If we let everyone run amok, the damn NCR would shut us down. Gotta have some way to regulate usage.
How much for a drink?
Just a few caps for a good long swig.
And can I buy bottled water?
Sure thing.
And yeah, and he sells purified water. So yeah, there is a thing.
The pump
And
is property of the
if
king.
your Freeside reputation is high enough, which ours will get eventually, if you get to idolized, the king lets you drink for free. So yeah, there's another little thing I wanted to go back and show. And we found the evidence, so now we'll head back down to Mojave Outpost. A lot of fast travel this episode. Our quest marker has disappeared, but I still guide us with a steady hand through the perfect playthrough.
Well, now, look what roll...
And, Cass, we've gotten the evidence. Cass, we've gotten the evidence.
You find any evidence yet? I'm not gonna wait forever.
Here's both pieces of evidence.
No shit. There it is. The blood, the motive, as clear as day. They must have penned these with snake venom. But we got it. Now what? Sure, this damns them, but only if someone listens.
Anyone you trust in NCR?
Well, Jackson and the Mojave Outpost could get it to the folks in the West. I wouldn't trust anyone closer to the Colorado. And the Crimson Caravan and the Van Graffs have their heart back west. Not sure it'll do any good, though.
We have to try.
All right, let's do it. Listen to what he has to say.
I try and stay positive,
Evening.
even though we could make fun of Jackson. So let's talk to Jackson.
Appreciate the help. Wish I had more work for you, but nothing else on the radar at the moment.
I have evidence of a caravan conspiracy.
What is it? Let me see. All right. This explains a lot of the lost caravans. I thought it was Legion work, but
Can you get it to the right people?
I can, if you make me a promise. I need you to swear you won't take revenge on Gloria or Alice. If you do, then your case is over, and we can't see that justice is done. I know some things are hard to let go. You and Miss Cassidy need to understand that. Hear me?
You have our word.
That'll have to do. God, what a mess. People turning against each other when the Mojave's at risk of falling. If the Republic's sinkhole progress doesn't kill us, greed will. Thanks for bringing me this. I know revenge must have been tempting. For what it's worth, I appreciate you didn't shed any more blood. We need to save our strength for the Legion.
It felt like the right thing to do.
I'll do what I can. And those folks that got killed need to be answered for.
Well, that's settled, I suppose.
Chasing the dead with more deaths isn't the way.
No, I know. Just hard to say how I feel right now. Wait, that's not true. I think the NCR back west, when riled, is going to be the worst enemy the Van Graffs and the Crimson Caravan ever had. They're all so mired in procedure and paper out there. The kind of evidence we gave is going to be worse than shooting them. I think that settles accounts with me and my men. That was some tricky political maneuvering, but worth it, even if it takes a few years.
And she gets the Calm Heart perk. And, well, we can still send her to Freeside, but we actually fail the other quest, I believe.
If you're fine, then.
Well, let's check exactly. Birds of a Feather will fail once we go back to Freeside, and the Van Graffs are now hostile to us. So, it has not quite failed yet, though. So, that is good, I guess. And now, we will head back on the route we originally planned to head for this episode, up to Jacobstown. And interestingly enough, what Ranger Jackson says is true. If you go and kill them, you get Cass's other ending. And interestingly enough, you get Cass's other perk as well. So if you're interested in making Cass as strong as possible, you can do both endings of this quest and get both perks. And, yeah. Does that make Cass the best companion? I'm not sure. I'd have to look into the stats, but I got to imagine having two perks is quite effective. And now we're heading up to Jacobstown, and we'll also be stopping at a ranger station, Foxtrot. Normally this is where I'd be updating the security codes, but if you recall that episode, there was a slight glitch that we took advantage of that allowed us to progress the quest to its next stage. So we don't have to do that, and we can talk to them about clearing up misinformation on the radio, as opposed to just the security codes. Also, there's tons of little mines here, and I believe the legendary Cazador is present in that mine. Or I think there's also a Silver Peak mine up here or something like that. It's one of the two. And you can also find the helmet for the Remnant's power armor up here. So it's some interesting little locales. But we won't be checking them out till much later, as I plan on having a dedicated episode to hunting the legendary creatures. And after we get up and through the quests in Jacobstown, I think we're also going to be set to enter Vegas. I think we'll be ready. which is exciting. Though I think it's going to be a good opportunity also to take a little break from the playthrough for Elden Ring DLC. Nice little stopping point before we get too caught up in the politics of the Mojave. What the heck? Where'd Rex go? Also, we have killed a lot of stuff. But yes, as I mentioned previously, you can always tell where the ranger stations are. And we're going to stop our advance at Ranger Station Foxtrot for now. But in the future, we're going to come back here and hunt some Cazadors for Red Lucy, as this is the route close to the eggs. First thing we want to do in Ranger Station Foxtrot is hide and, oh, I guess we could just take it. But duck and cover is here, the explosive skill book. And then we can talk to the comms officer, as she has some dialogue, not just related to the quest, but individually about her.
You're here for the money. I told the Emeritus I was good for it. I just need more time.
What happened between you and the Omertas?
I talked to the cashier at Gamora into forwarding me some chips. I was convinced I was due for a hot streak. It didn't go so well. The Emeritus were nice and said they'd give me some time to pay them back. They also said if they had to talk to me about my debt again, they wouldn't be nice the next time.
I thought NCR Rangers were supposed to be tough and fearless.
I don't want to talk about it.
If you don't tell me, someone else will. I'd rather hear your version.
We were on patrol near the dam when a Legion raiding party jumped us. Didn't even have time to radio it in. I was hit in the head with a machete and knocked out. Didn't kill me, though some nights I wish it had. When I woke up, my nerve was gone. The rest of my squad was crucified, butchered, mutilated. I don't know how they missed me. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they knew they'd broken me. I gambled and drank a lot after that. Got into trouble, but the Rangers gave me a second chance instead of kicking me out. So here I am.
And then we can be nice and say, you were too tough to kill, and you'll get payback on the Legion someday.
Maybe. But thanks for saying it anyway.
And there you go, get a little karma. What do you do here?
I operate the radio and call it in if we see any great cons moving out in large groups from Red Rock Canyon.
Huh, maybe you could have called in the cons who shot me in the head.
Watch out for great cons.
Yeah. But anyway, we supposedly already talked to her to update the code, so we're going to verify our reports with Ranger Kudlow.
No run-ins with the great cons, I hope. They've been more restless than usual.
And then first we can talk to her. What are you doing out here?
Keeping watch on the great cons, mostly. They usually stick around Red Rock Canyon, but at least one large group left recently. We called it in, but haven't heard anything about any great con incidents. Whatever they're doing, they're keeping a low profile.
And what do you know about the great cons?
Tough, independent, and as ruthless as they come. They're holed up in Red Rock Canyon, and it's this station's job to keep an eye on them.
And Lank told me her story.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. There was a lot of talk about expelling her from the Rangers, especially once the gambling and drinking started. Being posted here is her second and last chance, and so far, I'm not impressed. Link's jumpy all the time, and the others are sick of it.
Hopefully we inspired her to great success. And we need to confirm your report about great cons with trained death claws.
You must be mistaken. I haven't filed any report like that. Trained death claws? I would have remembered that.
If someone is saying I filed that report, that's a load of crap. I won't have my name attached to a clerical error.
Interesting. The Rangers here are not confirming their report. And you'll notice a tick on the map up here. That is, of course, the Remnants Bunker, which is another place we will not be coming back to for quite some time. Yes, this playthrough takes much longer than a usual playthrough because we're listening to all the dialogue, and I don't even mean just like going through all the dialogue. I mean like actually listening to the full voice acting of it. So that causes to take it a little longer. But we do not have the password to the Remnants Bunker, so we will not even bother attempting to go in there. But rather go towards Jacobstown because we need to find a doctor for Rex. The Virgin quest for revenge against Benny versus the Chad finding a vet for your sick dog. Though, actually, unfortunately for Rex, we are going to take a little while to complete his quest as well, as I am of the opinion that the best brain for Rex is the Legion brain, Lupa. And I feel like it's pretty clear in the ending slide. It says, like, Rex's brain meshes well with Lupa's memories of the Legion. And I think some people just pick the other dogs because they don't like the Legion. But, like, it's a dog. And we want the best brain for Rex, regardless of political affiliation of the dog's former owners. So we're going to be going for Lupa, and so obviously we need to advance quite a bit through the main quest. And that's another reason why I want to go to Jacobstown early, is to sort of know that I need a brain so I can ask to challenge Lupa and do all the fun stuff in the fort in one little trip. But here we go, Jacobstown, the town of mutants, and if you recognize the voice actor for Marcus, that is because it is Commander Worf, Michael
Welcome
Dorn.
to Jacobstown, human. You're free to walk around. Just don't stare at the Night Kin. They don't like people looking at them. And if you're NCR, keep it to yourself. They're not popular around here.
I'm looking for Dr. Henry.
Doc's inside the lodge.
And why do some of the super mutants here dislike the NCR?
A lot of bad blood between super mutants and humans. Goes back years. Some here still got the scars and memories. Me? I don't really have a problem with the NCR. Set their sights a little too high sometimes, but they try. Legion? That's another story.
What do you know about the Legion?
Kaisar thinks he can change human nature. Most of the Legion is following Kaisar, not Kaisar's ideals. When he's gone, it'll crumble. Might not happen overnight. Might take a few decades, but it'll happen. Basic human nature. Greed, ambition, jealousy. We'll see to it.
And what makes the NCR too ambitious?
They expand. Fast. If you got land they want, they'll take it. Eventually. Did it out west, they'll do it here. They keep rolling over people. They'll regret it. That's how revolutions start.
Anything else you can tell me about the NCR?
Seen them grow from a single town, Shady Sands, into the Republic. They've done good for the most part.
Do you have any dealings with New Vegas?
Not really. Heard it's a paradise in the wasteland. Never been there myself. Doubt they'd let a mutant in. Amazes me people would come from all over the waste to throw away everything they've got in that town.
And what's wrong with the Nightkin?
Nightkin suffers schizophrenia from the stealth boys they're always using. One One of the reasons I settled Jacobstown was so they could be cured. While they're in town, the Nightkin aren't allowed to have stealth boys, so their craziness doesn't get worse. Trouble is, the Nightkin don't like being visible either. They don't take being exposed too well.
Are there any town rules I need to know about?
Same as any civilized town. Don't start any fights or steal anything. We'll treat you fair. Not a lot to ask.
And I had some questions about Jacobstown.
Such as,
What's the history of Jacobstown?
was a resort pre-war. I renamed it to Jacobstown after an old friend. Died a long time ago. I figured us mutants needed a place to call our own. Town's far enough away from humans so they don't bother us much. One of these days, I'm hoping we can trade with the rest of the wasteland. No more fighting, just get along.
And I'd like to know about you.
Was part of a super mutant army. Ran a town, walked the wasteland with a tribal. Now I'm here.
And that tribal is, of course, you, the main character of Fallout 2. Super Mutant Army?
Long story, so here's the short version. The Master created the super mutants and Nightkin. The Master thought he could unify everyone. No more differences, no more war. Didn't end well.
You were a mayor?
Town was Broken Hills. Bunch of super mutants, humans, and ghouls all living together peacefully. Well, most of the time.
Tell me more about the tribal.
We were looking for a Gek to save the village of Arroyo. Eventually, we did. Nuked an oil rig in the process. We went separate ways after that. I went east into the Rockies, looking for other mutants like myself. Don't know what happened to my friend. I've got a feeling it turned out all right in the end.
I like that line. Just a nice little bit of positivity towards the... Obviously, you don't know the ending of your character. They usually just walk off into the waste, onto the next supposed adventure. And I'll see you later, Marcus.
See you.
I really liked you in Star Trek. And then something that I think people overlook in Jacobstown is the little bungalows. You got some fun little bungalows, and in it you get like a nice Nuka-Cola victory. Who doesn't like a good Nuka-Cola victory? And maybe we might come back here and pick up some books to finish off our skill book collection, as it were. And of course, Grognak the Barbarian. I knew it was in here. I was looking for its exact location. And we will, of course, take a nice little skill book. That's got to be often overlooked. And then this bungalow as well can be examined. And as you can see, this guy had 5 kings, which is cheating. So he got shot. And there's a star bottle cap. And unfortunately, we can't pick up those cards for our caravan deck as much as I want them. But yeah, so a nice little other bungalow. And then the final bungalow is locked and has probably the least useful loot. I think it just has a service rifle and some 5.56 and some fun toys. And yeah, that's about it for this bungalow. So yeah, the little Jacobstown bungalows, often overlooked. And as you can see, a lot of super mutants here.
I hope it will snow later.
Yeah, I'd like some nice snow. And there's another Nightkin over there that we're gonna talk to them later.
Another human. One was enough.
Huh. What does this guy have to say?
Bother someone else. I don't want anything to do with you.
Do you have a problem with humans?
Humans are always staring at things. We Nightkin don't like being stared at. Is uncomfortable.
Stare silently at him.
Ah, humans. Bother someone else. I don't want anything
So let's
do
talk
with
to
it.
Keen. Who's the other human you mentioned?
Dr. Henry, he's one of you. Go speak with him instead of me.
What do you do here?
I represent the Nightkin. Marcus may lead this town, but the Nightkin listen to what I have to say. Doesn't mean I don't respect Marcus for what he's trying to do. However, he doesn't truly understand the difficulties of being a Nightkin.
Why are the Nightkin here in Jacobstown?
The stealth boys we use have cumulative adverse effects on our minds. Jacobstown was supposed to be a sanctuary, a place to find a cure. Instead, we wait and wait. I'm sick of waiting.
Alright, goodbye.
Finally.
Yes, Keen doesn't like you. Also, you gotta grab the snow glove, of course. There isn't too much up in the rest of the resort. As you can see, though. Just like people's rooms and stuff. But it's all considered stealing. I've never actually been in Marcus's room. I wonder what fun stuff is in there. We lost a little karma. But yeah, see, nothing interesting. And so I'll leave that for you to explore at your own leisure. As we gotta talk to Doc Henry.
I assume this is about something important? You're interrupting my research.
Something's wrong with my cyber dog. I was told to come to you.
It's neural degradation. Biomed gel can only preserve a living brain for so long, so you'll need to find a replacement. I haven't left Jacobstown in years, but there was one woman in Novak, Gibson. I remember her living with a pack of hounds. Aside from her, I know that the Fiends and Caesar's Legion fight alongside dogs. There could be viable specimens among them, if you can get to them.
And we have Violetta's brain, but we're not using that. What are you working on?
The Nightkin have varying degrees of mental instability due to their addiction to stealth boy use. I've been trying to come up with a cure. I'm currently investigating the local Night Stalker population, since they seem to have developed a natural stealth field. I've also gotten my hands on a working Stealth Boy Mark II prototype, but that experiment is riskier. I'd rather not pursue that research just yet.
Why is the Stealth Boy Mark II riskier?
The stealth field has been modulated to use less power and thus last longer, but for some reason it has pronounced negative effects on the user. However, these pronounced effects will allow me to pinpoint exactly what parts of the brain they're affecting. Unfortunately, I'll need to run the test on a live subject, and Marcus has encouraged me to investigate the Night Stalker mutation first.
Does Stealth Boy use hurt humans?
It's possible, but I've yet to see any hard evidence or hear of any cases where humans were negatively affected. Its negative effects are more pronounced on Nightkin.
And why are you helping the Nightkin?
Because Marcus asked me to, and because it's a reason for me to get up in the morning. I'd like to get one more grand accomplishment done.
And I'd like to help. What do you need me to do?
I'm not convinced that the Night Stalker mutation is a natural one, and I need someone to investigate their lair for proof. Some of the super mutants have looked around as well, but they've come back empty-handed. Perhaps a pair of fresh eyes will have better luck. Lily might be interested in coming with you. She's lost a few of her bighorners to Night Stalker attacks, and would enjoy a little revenge.
And what makes you think that the Night Stalker mutation isn't natural?
I've compared the brain chemistry of a Nightkin to one of the local Night Stalkers we killed. They both exhibit similar neurochemical changes. Now, I'm not claiming that Night Stalkers are running around wearing stealth boys, mind you. I just don't think it's all a coincidence.
Alright. And let's talk about Doc Henry himself. You're a scientist?
Yes, specializing in neuroscience, both human and canine. Of course, this lab is nothing compared to what I had when I was with the Enclave.
Canine neuroscience?
Cyberdogs and the like. It's not a field I work in much anymore.
And you were with the Enclave?
Yes, but the leadership and I didn't see eye to eye, so I left. It was the right decision, since the Enclave's oil rig was destroyed not long after.
And I'm surprised to find another human here.
I prefer the solitude, and having a bunch of super mutants around tends to keep things safe and quiet.
Alright, well, we'll go investigate that.
Yes, yes.
But first, we're going to talk to your lab assistant.
Huh. I'd heard there were new people in town, but I thought it was more super mutants. Nice to meet you. I'm Calamity.
What do you do here?
Most of the time, I'm Dr. Henry's research assistant. We're looking into ways to cure I'm also handy with tools. Once in a while, I venture down into the valley to trade the big horner hides and meat for supplies.
Oh, show me what you have for sale. And, I didn't even know that she was a seller of stuff. Seems like mostly some crap. A lot of stimpaks, though. And, does anyone other than super mutants come up this way?
Prospectors looking for salvage, usually. They always run when they see the mutants. The great Khans come this way once in a while, but they keep their distance. I think they're mostly keeping an eye on us.
And, you have an interesting name.
Thank you. Change names and jobs every decade or so just to keep things interesting. I picked Calamity this time because it sounded nice. Never really done much science stuff till now. I'm pretty good at it. Or so Dr. Henry tells me.
And, see ya. Yes, Calamity is a ghoul. And taking advantage of her advanced lifespan. And we'll put, Guess Who I Saw Today on. And talk to Lily.
Jimmy? Little Jimmy? My, how you're grown up. So good of you to come visit your grandma.
Who's Jimmy?
Oh, Jimmy, don't you go being silly now. Come over here and give your grandma some sugar.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Oh, of course I have, dearie. How silly of me. I didn't take my medicine yet today. How can I help you?
What do you do in Jacobstown?
I watch over the big horners. They're sweet, gentle creatures, but sometimes they get ornery, just like my grandkids.
As we can see, Lily is a super mutant that used to be a grandmother before she was dunked in FEV. And I'm looking into the Night Stalker mutation. Want to come along with me?
Ooh, those Night Stalkers always killing my big horners. It'll be nice to give them a piece of my mind.
And there you go. We got Lily with us, and we'll talk to her in detail. And, yep. I have some questions to ask you.
Such a curious little munchkin, aren't you? What do you want to know?
Tell me about yourself.
Oh, someone wants to hear Grandma's stories. What would you like to hear, Pumpkin?
Where'd you come from?
I grew up in Vault 17. I never even saw the sun until I was 75 years old. That was when super mutants raided the vault and carried a lot of us off. Yes, Leo, I'm getting to that part. They made me one of them, and they put me to work in an army that was going to conquer California.
You were a soldier?
A spy, sometimes an assassin. I killed a lot of folks for the Master. Yes, Leo, you helped too.
Who was the master?
Oh, he was a nasty man, dearie. You don't want to know about him. He was the one who made that super mutant army I told you about.
And, who is Leo?
Leo is a very bad man, Pumpkin. Yes, you are, Leo. Don't try to deny it. He tells me to do things, terrible things, and sometimes the medicine isn't enough to keep him quiet.
But there's no one there.
Well, of course there is, dearie. How else could I hear him tell me who to chop?
And where'd you get that sword?
This old thing? Oh, I scavenged it off a wreck in Craven. Leo showed me how to make it all ready for chopping. Didn't you, Leo?
Now that is a reference to a random encounter in Fallout 1, I believe. That is also later referenced by the Enclave pilot, so we'll keep that in mind for a much, much later episode. And that's all we have to see from Lily. And as we can see, the Nightkin are a bit crazy. The super mutants are suffering since the loss of the Master. But now let's talk to Marcus, see if he has something to say.
Could use your help. Been having trouble with NCR mercs harassing the town, and they just showed up again.
How have they been harassing the town?
Killing our bighorners, shooting at the lodge, that sort of thing. It's getting hard to keep people from retaliating.
You sure these mercenaries work for the NCR?
Guess I can't say for sure if they're NCR.
They
Whoever
are.
They are. They want us dead or gone.
Why can't you just take them out?
Not looking to fight. That'll give NCR an excuse to come up here and wipe us out.
And what do you want me to do?
You're human. They might be willing to listen to what you have to say. Maybe. I'm not asking you to kill them. Just talk them into leaving. Hell, pay them off if you have to.
I'll see what I can do.
Thanks.
And this starts the quest, Unfriendly Persuasion. And interestingly enough, you can really scam Marcus out of a lot of caps. But we're not going to do that. We're a nice fella.
Our business is with the muties, not you.
And what do you want with Jacobstown?
Just doing what I'm paid to do. Harass the muties until they leave or attack us. If they leave, we'll let them go. If they attack, we wipe them out. Either way, the job's not done until they're cleared out of the town.
And who are you doing this for?
Won't name names, but some important folks in the NCR are sick of muties attacking their Brahmin herds. They want them gone from NCR territory. Maybe this group had something to do with attacking Brahmin, maybe not. Doesn't matter. We're getting paid to make them go away.
And this is the option where they'll request a large amount of caps, and then you can get Marcus to give you those caps. And then you could just like speech check them away. But we're just going to speech check them away because we're nice fellas. Go away or you'll have to deal with me. And you'll wish you were fighting the super mutants instead.
I've always known when to fight and when to back down, and it seems to me I ought to back down this time. My men and I are leaving. You won't see us around here again.
There you go. So we got him. And look, they're pretty well equipped. He's got the combat armor. I think that's the assault carbine, sniper rifle, plasma rifle. Those are some pretty tough guys. You can also kill them too, but Marcus will be upset with you. But yeah, that's a nice little interesting quest. And we'll just turn that in.
Something on your mind?
You won't have any more trouble with those mercenaries.
Good. Glad you didn't kill them. Letting them walk away proves we're not bloodthirsty mutants. If NCR or anybody else is looking for an excuse to attack Jacobstown, they're not gonna get it from us.
And also, what's the story with Keen?
Smart, charismatic, and hell of a mean streak. Doesn't care for humans, prefers fighting them to talking. He's got a lot of pull with Nightkin, though. He talks, they listen. Was hoping he could draw the Nightkin to Jacobstown. Keen is saner than most, but I know he's thinking of going his own way again. He's aggressive, impatient, can't stand sitting around.
Why does Keen want to leave?
Because of a promise, one I haven't been able to keep. The Nightkin all suffer from schizophrenia. It's the stealth boys they use, or used to use. Nightkin have a hard time being seen like normal folks. Can't stand it. A few already left to try and find more stealth boys. Miserable situation. They either stay here and suffer, or dig up stealth boys and lose their minds. Not much of a choice.
And we encountered a group of those during Come Fly With Me. What happens if Keen leaves?
That happens, there's a good chance other Nightkin will follow. It'll make it hard to get a cure to them. Worse, if Keen and the Nightkin tear up the Mojave hunting for stealth boys, people are gonna get killed. Most humans can't tell the difference between mutants. Might come here looking for payback.
You're a mutant too. Wouldn't the Nightkin listen to you?
That's like saying Caesar and Kimball would listen to each other. Nightkin don't have a lot of trust for others, mutants included.
Interesting. Well, yep, that's a little more backstory. And a little hollowed out rock. And yeah, I mean, you could just tell in New Vegas that the way they handle the super mutants just has the respect and the influence for classic Fallout. And it's just so much better than Bethesda, where it's just all the mutants are just mindless. There's no interaction, there's no dialogue, there's no contribution to society. They're just another beast, you know, like rad scorpions or deathclaws in Bethesda Fallout. But in New Vegas, they're really a part of the world, which is something I prefer. And I like to think that after helping Jacobstown, Davison and his band of Nightkin, who we helped get out of the basement of the Repcon test center, head to Jacobstown and they get cured and they live a happy, happy life. That's what I think happens. And, here we are in Charleston Cave. And we're putting the Pip-Boy light on because there are Night Stalkers that are somewhat invisible. And you can only see them slightly. And there's actually a fair amount of good loot in this cave. It's not overly large of a cave, so we should be able to explore it well. And hopefully we don't get too lost. As we fight these Night Stalkers. It's a little hard as you obviously cannot see them. They are invisible. But we got a good crew with us. If we get lucky, Lily will frenzy, and we'll be able to get the dialogue for her quest. If not, we'll have to go back and trigger that on our own in a later episode. Oh crap. Rex, get out of the way. Oh, you did a good job there, Rex. Holy crap. That was some physics right there, huh? And the evidence we're looking for is here, in the chewed stealth boy of a Nightkin. Also, do not miss Oh Baby, one of the better weapons in the game, better melee weapons in the game. Though I think if you do a little math, you discover that the combat knife, Chance's knife, or perhaps blood nap will hit you higher DPSs. But Oh Baby is certainly a very effective option. The other thing you might miss in here is a hard-locked bunker. And this bunker sort of has a little post-war lore to it, which you don't see as much in New Vegas. Very frequent in Fallout 3 and the Bethesda Fallout. It's also a full condition hunting shotgun, if you are interested in the hunting shotgun. And plenty of purified water as well. And there it is, the post-war audio log. So we'll listen to that as we head out of the cave.
Finally hit us, just like I always said they would. Vegas is still there as far as I know, but that probably won't last long. Didn't get accepted into one of the vaults, so I did the next best thing and had this place built. Got massive debts, but who cares now? That's every man for himself now. Had to take care of the Paulson boy since he knew about this place. These supplies are for me and nobody else. There's a woman and her daughter up in one of the rooms of the lodge. Might go pay him a visit tomorrow. The man's got needs.
And as you can see, it seems that this man heavily contributed to the regression of society. Regression of society in a post-war America. Seems like an awful person, you know. Killed a child and planned to rape a mother and daughter. And it's like one day into post-war. And we don't really know exactly what happened to him, but hopefully he got his, considering that those supplies were not exactly touched, you know. So I imagine his trip up to the lodge didn't go well. But yep, we found the chewed up stealth boy. And this quest isn't too long. And, you know, we'll speed it up a little. And the important parts for the endings are whether you can pass the upcoming skill checks. And I believe that we shouldn't even need to put any gear on. We're so efficiently leveled. We put so much time, thought, and energy into it. And I also believe Lily will get sent back, possibly, to her spot. I don't know if I quite remember.
Is there something else I can do for you?
How goes your research for the Night King cure?
Promising, but I won't be able to synthesize the drug anytime soon. I really should get back to my work.
Interesting. I found a chewed up stealth boy in the Night Stalker lair.
There's still power, but the casing is cracked. I'm astonished that exposure to the stealth radiation could induce mutations so rapidly. More importantly, this explains why my research into this group of Night Stalkers hasn't come up with a cure for the Nightkin. There's only one avenue left for me. I need to run the Mark II test on Lily. It's the only way.
Why Lily, and not some other Nightkin?
Lily is eccentric, certainly, but I've never felt she was dangerous. More importantly, she asked if she could help me in some way. I've told her about the risks, and she still insists on helping me.
What are the risks of the experiment?
Possibly immediate and permanent mental damage. There's a reason the Stealth Boy Mark IIs never got beyond the prototype stage. Lily already has a pre-existing condition, and the experiment will likely make things worse for her.
Well, I'll talk to Lily then.
I'll be waiting.
And,
Hello again, dear.
do you still want to help Dr. Henry run his experiment?
Of course, dearie. I know it's dangerous, but it'll all turn out for the best. You'll see. I'll go to it now. It would be rude to keep him waiting.
That's what it is. She heads back after this, is what I was remembering. Oh, we gotta talk to him.
It's hooked up and ready. We can start the test as soon as you give me the go-ahead.
Go ahead and start the tests.
Very well. Please stand back. I don't want any erroneous readings. You're welcome to stay and observe if you want, though. All right, power on the stealth boy, Lily.
Turning it on. Feels strange. Strange, but good.
Interesting. Try thinking aggressive thoughts now. Think about smashing a rat's
Lily smash! Yeah!
How are those readings looking, Calamity?
Stealth field is
South Boy down, Billy.
Oh, I liked having it all.
I'll get back to you on that in a moment, once I've analyzed the results.
Well, congratulations on getting the Mark II prototype functional, Doctor. Now, just hand it over, and we'll be on our way. My request is perfectly reasonable. Give us the Stealth Boy specs, and there will be no need for us to splatter the room with your insides.
And then, what are you planning to do once you have the specs?
There are caches of Stealth Boys out there. With a Mark II in hand, it shouldn't be difficult to upgrade every one of them.
And, of course, we have 80 speech. So we'll remind him that what you do in the wasteland affects all the mutants here. But you didn't think about that, did you?
No, I didn't. Not until now, anyway. Very well, human. You've made your point, and I withdraw my request.
Yeah, 80 speech is a lot. And let's
Breen
wrap
has
it
a
up with
new
Doc
sheriff.
Henry.
Nice work with the Nightkin. I've never seen anyone able to talk their kind out of anything once they had their mind set to it. I got a lot of useful data from the experiment, and am a lot closer to a cure than before. It's occurred to me that this brief test might not yield a cure anytime soon. However, if Lily were to continue to wear the prototype...
And then with Science 90, which is another big check, we can ask him to use neuropeptide stimulators on a Night Stalker brain, and the results should be similar to a live brain.
That's brilliant. Simple yet elegant. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
And there you go. We have resolved all the problems in Jacobstown, and kept everyone together.
Someone else.
And, you know, we already asked them why they're in Jacobstown, but yeah. Lily heads back there. We'll eventually have to come back and do some stuff with her. But yeah, and then let's talk to Marcus, and then we'll head to Vegas. But
I like how you handled Keene. Without the Nightkin around, Jacobstown would be much weaker than it is.
And there you go. Still an extra Michael Dorn line. But yeah, now we're going to head to the Strip North Gate. And unfortunately, there will be an Elden Ring related pause in videos. I got to get my character ready for the DLC as well. So we'll be back eventually. Don't you worry. We're 40 hours into this playthrough. We'll see exactly how far we are into this playthrough right now. Let's see. We're, yeah, 39 hours in. So I wouldn't worry about me finishing it. we're gonna. But there will be a pause for me to do the Elden Ring DLC. And from what I heard, it's a lengthy one. So we'll finish this. Don't worry. This is actually, I think, a really good place to pause, because this is all the stuff I like to do. I like to go around and do all these quests, and then finally head into the Strip and confront Benny. So we'll do that on next episode on Fallout New Vegas Perfect Playthrough, and I will see you all then.